What's up YouTube? I hope you're all having an amazing week. In today's video, I'll be showing you 3 seamless transitions that I find really cool and useful. If you're new here, my name is Danny James, and on this channel I make content around music video editing, dope transitions and styles that can improve your workflow. If you do end up enjoying the video, kindly give it a thumbs up so that other people with the same interest as you can easily find it. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. I'm on my Adobe After Effects screen and I've already set up some compositions so that it can be easy for us to follow through. Now I have a performance scene right here and it's followed by another scene which has been shot in the field. Now I want us to do the first transition, so just go to your effects and preset. You can look for blur more curves, so it's right under the Sapphire plugin. I also had a tutorial which explained how to download and install Sapphire plugin in case you don't have it, but unfortunately YouTube took it down, so I can only share maybe a website whereby you can download it and you can follow the instructions from there. Now I'll drop this effect onto both my scenes, so I'll highlight on both of them, then drop it. For this one, we want to do a Z distortion, so we want to zoom into this video and then zoom out starting on this video. So how to easily set this up, just enable a keyframe for the Z distortion and then come right near the end of the video. You can press U after you've enabled your keyframes. A few frames from here, now where the video ends, the first clip, you can zoom into it using this Z distortion. So you have to go towards the negative, so we go up to around 0.1, and then we'll do the same for this other clip, but then in the reverse order. We'll click on it, make sure we can see our effect so we didn't drag it, and then enable the keyframe for Z distortion, and then come back here. You can press U, squeeze this keyframe because we want this to be our last look. Here, right here initially, we'll drop this to again 0.1, so it zooms in here and it's also zooms in. And now if we play this back, okay, so once you've enabled like this, I think this already looks good, but you can do something a little bit. You can highlight on all your keyframes. I'm holding shift while click selecting and then setting it on easy ease, and then from there you can just highlight on these two and then highlight on this. Make sure you're editing the speed graph and then just push this side to this so that you can start at a high speed, slowing down, and then do the same for these other keyframes. Just squeeze these to the right, to the left hand side like that, and then you can also zoom in to be more specific. Yeah, so that's the first one. I hope it was really easy to follow. So that looks good. Now for the second one, I'll be showing you more or less the same, but now we shall be shifting on our y-axis. We're going to be working with the same clip. Now for this one, we'll just drop the same effect on both scenes, and then I want us to do a transformation along the y-axis instead of the z axis. So you'll add a keyframe right here to enable it, and then make sure here on wrap Y you set it to reflect. Now what happens if you don't? Let me just show you. It was on no. So if I do create a keyframe right here, so let's create a keyframe for shift Y, and then right here you can hit U so that you can see that keyframe, and then near the end of the video you can shift it so that it goes down. So right here you can see we are having this black space. Now we don't want this black space, and that's why on wrap Y we'll set it to reflect. So it will reflect the entire frame so that it's almost seamless. So it will go downwards, and then again on this last keyframe you want to squeeze it outside of this frame so that the keyframe starts, and then by the time that it finishes the clip has already ended. So that's an important thing to note. And then on this other one we'll do the same thing. On wrap Y we'll set it on reflect, and then we'll enable this keyframe for shift Y, and then we need this to be our last position, so I'll squeeze that keyframe right here. On this part I'll try changing the value, so I'm taking it up so that the movement can go downwards. Let me see. Okay, so I need to make the movement go downwards instead, so don't go towards the negative, go towards the positive. like that. And then as we said, this keyframe, make sure to make it stick outside this frame so that it starts animating before the clip even appears. So you can work with how you want to space them. You can customize that, but make sure these keyframes go outside of the video. So we need a little velocity right there, so I'll squeeze this keyframe, click on it, and then set it on easy ease, and then I'll do the same for these ones. So let's play that back. Yeah, so that is very smooth, and then it has that horizontal movement, and it already has the built-in blur effect on it, so you don't really notice when the video changes. Especially if you are doing this on a longer timeline, you can actually recycle the same effect again and again and again. For the last transition I want to show you, it's a bit different, but it applies the same principles that I've shown you. We're going to click on this clip and then go to your effects and presets. You want to look for CC Hex Style. It's a built-in effect within After Effects. Drop it on your 2 clips, and then let's start dealing with the first clip. So you want to change the radius, so you want to zoom in a bit, somewhere around here. So this is the look that we want to have, and you can do the same on these other clips so that it can be easy for us to follow along. Let's just zoom it somewhere like here. You can also copy these values. It's here we use 340. On the next one you can use the same ones. The only catch with this one is that we have these black lines right behind, and there's a way that you can eliminate them. I'll show you in a bit, but let's just pull off and make this transition happen. You want to click on the clip, and then you want to change the center. We want to alter this value, so just enable the keyframe for center, and then you can press U right on this clip, and then go a few frames, and then you can have it move to the right as much as you want. You don't have to exactly follow this, but as soon as you've made this rotation and then you get to this dark, that's when you should stop. Just let it stay there, and then I can push this keyframe outside of this video so that it goes on. Okay, now the trick again, let me just hide this other video. The trick again is that we do not want to have these black layers right beneath that happen. So what you can do, you can duplicate this clip, hit Ctrl D, and then on this clip which is right beneath, we can delete this effect. So let me make sure to label this duplicate so that you can follow along. So the duplicate is in orange. Even if we look at this video from this perspective, we can see those black lines that were appearing. And then we shall do the same with this other video. And then on this other video, we're just going to be doing the same. You could actually be copying these keyframes. Let me see if I can copy them. Let me copy the effect as it is. Let me delete from this one and then set up, paste that effect. I hope it comes with the keyframes for it. It actually comes with the keyframes, so I will enable that layer so that you can actually see. I also press U so that you can see the keyframes. Okay, now the trick here again, we want these keyframes to be, we want this last keyframe to be the first, and I'll also make sure it comes a few bits before this video, and then the other keyframe right here. Okay, again from this video we want to remove the blacks which appear right here, so we shall duplicate it, and then on this layer beneath we'll delete that effect. I'll also label it so that again we don't get confused. Now you're wondering if we've done this transition, but the way to make this transition work, let me just press U so that you can see our keyframes. Right before this, right where this keyframe begins, you want to hit Ctrl Shift D, and then on this other clip you want to delete that effect. So the video should start normally. I hope I did cut it at the right time. Let me just see. I'll delete that keyframe, and then so the video will start normally, and then it will change into this hex, which will now lead on onto this other frame. So the same thing that we've actually done here is what we're going to do here. on this video, after it actually enters, we'll hit Ctrl Shift D. Let me see the keyframes. Right after the last keyframe, I'll hit Ctrl Shift D, and then on this other clip right here, we shall delete the hex style. So I really hope that you are not getting confused. So the video will start normally, and then it will go into this transition, and then go on with the video. So again, you want to play around with the pacing so that they can be a bit faster than that. So let me hold Control and click on these two, and then I'll click on New. Let's right click on these two keyframes. You can also try to bring them a little bit together. The same with this one. Yeah, so it's only that the footage that I'm using is already in slow-mo, that's why you can't really feel that pace. Eventually you can just click on these two keyframes while holding Shift and then set them to easy ease. Yeah, and that's it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. My name is Danny James. See you in the next one. Cheers.